YouTube keeps spamming this. I swear, every single time I stream, bro, YouTube always spams this. Remember to keep the chat positive stuff, right? You know, some of my streams get out of hand, so. What is up, Jonathan? How you doing out there? Put a lot of work in is what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm bringing the blonde hair back. Everybody keeps asking, when am I going to bring the blonde hair back? I'm going to bring it back soon. I can't exactly give an exact date when I'm going to, but I promise going from the spring to the summer, when I'm doing my mayor election, I'll re-dye my hair blonde. I know y'all love my hair blonde. I get it. Yeah, well, my original hair color was blonde though. That's a lot of that's something that people don't understand about me. Is my OG hair color was blonde. Yeah, I had blonde hair growing up. Like if you look at pictures of me when I was like a baby and stuff like that, my hair was blonde. Yeah, every single time. This is the thing I'm starting to notice with YouTube though, right? Every single time somebody comments on my stream, there's always this welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines, which basically means YouTube's telling me if you swear, we're pulling the plug. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on that a lot of people aren't going to talk about. And I mean a lot. But the thing that I find really, 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 really strange is the fact that Mr. Drew Dilkins is still silent. The guy is still silent. Seems kind of weird, doesn't it? The guy hasn't said nothing. It's a little weird if you ask me. That really is. The YouTube has some yeah, this is the problem with YouTube. They monitor whatever I do on YouTube. People have to understand I'm monitored now. All right, that's the problem with YouTube. Yeah, they're all over my content because some stuff that I posted went somewhere. That's why. Someone asked me to use a green screen. Why would I do that? No, I swear that's one of the weirdest things though. Every single time I stream on, look at this, bro. Every single time I stream on YouTube, yeah, there's been about 30 comments so far on the stream, and each time someone writes a comment, I keep getting this, you know, community guidelines. Man, just telling a motherfucker like, yo, you can't swear on this app, like literally. That's fucking sad, bro. Yeah, every single time someone's saying that pops up, somebody's writing another comment. Believe me, it'd be nice to read it. I can block words. Oh my god, bro. Yeah, YouTube has gotten really YouTube has gotten really weird. No, it does not. Isn't it coming to the point where if I stream on YouTube and every single time I do, for some reason all my comments are just getting to get blocked because someone comments and then 5 seconds later it says, "Welcome to live chat. Welcome to live chat. Welcome to live." I get it. Okay, I get it, YouTube, but you don't have to spam it. Every single time, right? Someone has to write something. You don't gotta put this stupid fucking, oh well, you comment, you get it. That's why I don't use YouTube. Look at this, bro. It's been almost 70 times now. They've put this on my stream. I actually don't have an idea for this, bro. Yeah, I'm trying to read y'all messages, but YouTube's a bunch of pussies, so. No, because YouTube knows that somebody killed her and they're not going to admit it, right? They're hiding the whole situation, which is really sad. Nobody's doing nothing. The police aren't doing nothing. The mayor of Windsor, Drew Dawkins, has not said a word about the entire situation. Whatever I post on this, social media is heavily watching it. I've gotten death threats, a lot of death threats. I've tried posting them. YouTube automatically banned it because YouTube saw what I was talking about. Yeah, again, that's the problem with Windsor. But you know what? If Drew Dawkins doesn't say nothing, I'll continue to say something. Besides that, I'll continue to call out Drew Dawkins for not speaking on a certain situation that is very tragic like this. And rest in peace to Nancy Grewal, a very brave, very strong woman who fought for the truth, fought for what she believed. And she was silenced because they couldn't control her. She was speaking out what is going on right exactly as we speak. The reason why she was silenced is because she was reaching more people than what the organization that did it to her could reach. They couldn't get that much people to listen. She got them to listen. And what happened? Murdered in cold blood. And nobody says a word. No protests in Windsor. Again, Drew Dawkins has not said any. Yeah, exactly. He's not saying a damn thing. A damn thing. What a shame. What a shame. Drew Dawkins ain't nothing but a fraud. Yeah, Kelly just wrote a comment saying, "You're right about the bald-headed bandit, Drew Dawkins." The reason why I call him the bald-headed bandit is because that's exactly what he is. He's a bald-headed thief. He steals money from people. He doesn't honor anybody. He doesn't talk about the problems going on. He sits there and doesn't know how to do his own job. Why do you think I'm going to take his position? Just look at my... I'm not putting it like this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Look at my TikTok compared to his. That's just it. The numbers don't lie. And for some reason, I'm way ahead of him. Because the people of Windsor would much rather listen to my TikTok than his. Which, you know, I find it kind of funny that I post the same video on TikTok with Nancy Grewal, right? The Rest in Peace one. And that got significantly more success than it got on YouTube. Because I'm heavily shadow banned on YouTube. Unlike TikTok, where if I post something, good chance it's going viral. A lot of likes, a lot of comments, a lot of support. Someone just commented saying, why don't I stream more often? The reason why I don't stream as often as I used to, like in my younger years, is because I'm very focused on this mayor election and studying what's going on and calling out people. So, yeah, I do have time to stream here and there, but like people don't understand with how busy my life is, it's nearly impossible. I still do it here and there. 100% yes. Someone asking, what do I mean with the statue of Nancy Grewal? The statue I'm talking about with Nancy Grewal is going to be a 200-foot statue. Like, you know the Statue of Liberty, right? There's a Statue of Liberty. That's exactly what I'm going to do for Nancy Grewal. But instead of Statue of Liberty, it's a statue of her. And it's going to be to honor her legacy. I'm going to put more than half her famous quotes right under the Statue of Liberty where it says Statue of Nancy Grewal. It's going to have all the stuff she did in her life, and it's going to honor what she did. Because that's what I'm going to do for this poor woman. I am going to honor her legacy. Because I respect everything she did. And like I said, no matter who you are, you should not be silenced for your voice. You should not be silenced for speaking out. That's exactly what happened to her. And the fact that Drew Dawkins has still said nothing. Not even gave his condolences. Just goes to show what kind of mayor this guy really is. Not said a fucking word. Kept his mouth shut. Been over 3 weeks. Almost a month now. And he still has not said one thing about this whole situation. Very, very strange if you ask me. Means Drew Dawkins is obviously responsible. He knows who did it. He's not going to say nothing because if something happens, guess what? Drew Dawkins will go next, so he's not going to say nothing. He's just scared. I think that's the main reason why I'm going to win the mayor of Windsor election. I'm not being all like, oh, look at my TikTok or anything like that. But that video I posted with Rest in Peace Nancy Grewal, that has over 20,000 views on my TikTok. Almost 1,000 likes. A couple hundred comments. I post the same thing on YouTube. It doesn't get nowhere near the same numbers at all. Because I'm not shadow banned on TikTok. YouTube and Instagram, they shadow ban me for what I speak on. I've been shadow banned. But does that stop me from speaking out? No, it does not. I'll still continue to upload, even though I know it's not going to give my TikTok ads. But hey, you know what? That's what it is. All I know is this poor woman was murdered in cold blood. She repeatedly told Windsor police she was being threatened. Somebody tried to light her house on fire. Someone tried to burn her house. And nobody did nothing. Drew Dawkins, blood is on your hands. And you know what? You failed as a mayor. Not only the city, but you failed Nancy Grewal. You failed a poor woman's soul. Tragic. You know, besides her being very strong and fighting, she was a very, very beautiful woman. Nancy Grewal was a very beautiful woman. And the fact that she was murdered in cold blood destroys me inside. It boils my blood. It makes me angry knowing that this woman was killed for speaking out. And no justice has been brought for her. Nobody. Whoever killed her, still out there. Getting away with it. Probably back over where he came from. Paid assassin. It was plotted. The murder of her was plotted. They knew what they were doing. They did it for a reason. And nothing has come from it. I'm disgusted. But this should show the level of corruption that's going on. And the funniest thing about Drew Dawkins is when you're a leader, mayor, governor, president, a leader, right? You are supposed to give your condolences. Whether you want to say good or bad about somebody, you're supposed to at least give your condolences and say rest in peace. But Drew Dawkins didn't do that. Drew Dawkins was shh about the whole situation. Kept quiet. And the reason why is because Drew Dawkins has blood on his hands. If he acts on it, something could happen to him. If he doesn't act on it, he takes the money and walks away and lets a poor woman's soul go sad. But you know what? Like I said, this right here is one of the main reasons why I'm going to win the election running for mayor. Is for what I'm doing for Nancy Grewal and her legacy. And the fact that none of these other people that are running for mayor even said a word about it. Nobody else has said a word that's running for mayor but Tristan Time Ramsey. What does that say about the rest of my competition? They don't care about women's rights. They don't care about women's safety. They don't care about people being able to speak out and speak the truth to people. They're not worried about that. They want to control the public. That's exactly what they're going to do. 2030, it's going to happen. Yeah, that's why I wrote a song called Agenda 2030. I mean, that's the main reason why I have that song. When will I drop? I'll be dropping more. Don't worry. I get it. People want more stuff. I get it. But why does this continue to happen? That's all I want to know. Charlie Kirk got assassinated in 2025. September to be exact. Nancy Grewal was March of 2026. Why does it continue to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me why. Why, if you speak the truth, you're silenced? Because they can't control you. That's why. If they can't control what you say, then they stop what you say, which means they cut your voice. They make sure you can't reach people anymore. They want to control the narrative. They want to control people's minds. And if you speak out against it, well, guess what? You put a target on your back. That's what happens in this world. Either you're controlled or you're not controlled. And when they can't control you, well, they got to kill you. And that's how the world works. And it'll continue to work like that forever. People think that the world is just like this. No, the world's always been like this. It's tragic. But like I said, though, man, the fact that nothing has been done, nothing has been said, and people are just keeping quiet is what really pisses me off. But rest in peace, this poor woman. I know God is keeping her soul warm in heaven. And guess what? I can promise that justice will be served for Nancy Grewal. I can promise everybody out there. This poor woman will get the justice that she deserves. And whoever killed her, whoever stabbed her, just letting you know, when I'm mayor, when I find out who did this, I'm not only going to put handcuffs on you, I'm going to give you something you ain't ever going to forget. And I'll say it right here. Whoever did it will be executed. There's no 100 years in jail. Whoever killed Nancy Grewal is going to face the death penalty. There's no more of this 100 years. You took someone's life, you don't deserve to live anymore. And you know what? I hope this motherfucker gets stoned to death. I hope this motherfucker gets tortured for what he did. It's sickening to know that a poor woman was attacked, killed. And again, why is nobody saying nothing? Why? All these politicians in Canada, they all heard about the situation. Every single one of them heard about it. Only one politician, besides me, said something in Canada, and that is Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre is the only one that says something about Nancy Grewal. Wow, Mark Carney didn't? Wow. Mark Carney didn't say anything? Hey, what about Drew Dawkins? Oh, wait, Drew Dawkins didn't say nothing? Wow, isn't that kind of strange? Yeah. Not even Dougie Ford. Very strange. To me personally, I believe if Nancy Grewal had a gun, She'd be safe. She'd still be with us. Yes, 100%. Yes. Yeah, I think that's the main problem with Windsor. You got to blame with that with the fraud. There's a lot of fraud going on, and a lot of corruption. That's why we don't see new things getting built in Windsor. Is because a lot of the corruption going on. All right, whoever's there's so many every time somebody comments, it censors when it shows a comment for like 5 seconds, and then it censors what you say after, and it says some of the community guidelines, which I already know the reason. It's because the title of the video and what I'm speaking on. Of course, YouTube's gonna do whatever they can to censor it. It doesn't surprise me. I've been censored a million times in my life. It's nothing new. Yeah, I speak on so much stuff. I risk my freedom for it. But the thing is, I'm not afraid. I know what could happen to me. But you know what? It doesn't stop me, does it? Yeah, well, you know what? Until Drew Dawkins says something about the situation, I'm going to keep calling him out. I'm going to keep calling him out. And you can look it up right now. Go on your phone after. Go ask AI. Has Drew Dawkins said anything about Nancy Grewal's situation? And Google AI will tell you Drew Dawkins said nothing. Even says it right there. Because the guy is not an actual mayor. The guy is literally just a puppet. All Drew Dawkins is a puppet wearing a suit. All he is. Don't ever trust people like that. No, he's a bald-headed bandit for a reason, alright? Hey. He's a bald-headed bandit. That's exactly what Drew Dawkins is, bro. Bald-headed bandit. His time is coming. His time is coming. And when I do make Windsor the next New York, I promise to build the city up. Which nobody else has done for Windsor since we've been a city. Which I really just don't understand. How we can sit here and sit here and sit here and not improve what we have. Let people just get high in public freely. I'm talking about drug use all over the place. I've seen everywhere in Windsor. It's disgusting. People overdosing every hour. Man. People getting high on the buses and everything. It's ridiculous to see what happened. But you blame the people in power that let it happen. They are fools. They are corrupt. And you know what? Like I said, you gotta attack your opponent. Right? So Drew Dawkins, the reason why I attack Drew Dawkins so much is, like I said, besides him not saying anything about the situation, the matter of fact is he's keeping quiet. Which should really say something to the Windsor residents that this guy has not said nothing about the entire situation. I mean, that feels a little off to me that this guy does not want to talk about anything. Got some alcohol, don't worry. Mix it up with a whiskey. That's not the point of this, though. The point of this is, why does it continue happening when nothing's being done to solve it? That's all we want to know. Yes, justice will be served. 100% justice will be served. I think, yeah, you got a point. I think this goes to show how much violence has been going through the communities. You got a point. Violence has destroyed a lot of our communities. And I'm not gonna say it like this, okay? Believe me, Canada is a good country. Okay, Canada is a really good country. It's the people that are in power that are destroying it. It's not the people of the country. It's not the citizens. It's the people in power that are doing this. And that's why us citizens are begging for America more than ever to save us. Because we know, we're facing problems with home invasions. And we don't have a right to protect our lives because Mark Carney's government is worried about taking citizens from guns to protect their lives against criminals home invading you. This guy is the reason why Canada's failing and getting worse and worse. These people are destroying everything. Canada has been destroyed from Justin Trudeau for the last 10 years. We all know that. Guy single-handedly destroyed Canada. And now we have the puppet Mark Carney in there, who's just doing the bitch work, right? Disgusting. Don Cherry, real patriotic motherfucker. And guess what? The reason why he asked for the Order of Canada is because he knows the only way to save Canada is working with our neighbor. We have to work with America to save us. Because if we don't, we'll have no religious beliefs. We'll not be allowed to preach the Bible. We'll not be allowed to have freedom of speech. We'll not be able to protect our life with guns. We'll never clean up the situations with crime. We need America. We need God. And we need justice. Canada, we're a good country, don't get me wrong. But I'm not the only Canadian out here preaching the fact that Canada and America need to work with each other. England is begging for America. Think about it. If we're America, right? If we had a Second Amendment, Nancy Grewal would still be here. I will bet on $1,000 with all y'all out there. If Nancy Grewal had a gun, she would still be here with us. You want to bet? I'll bet anybody right here, right now. $1,000. If she had a gun, she'd still be here with us. Because she could have protected her life in that situation. She could have fought back against that sucker with a knife. But she didn't get the chance to do that. Canada is not the same anymore. It's not the same anymore. And the fact that people are being murdered for speaking out should really show the direction where the country's at. And again, the fact that this happened in Windsor is what really destroys me. Because the Windsor I grew up in was not like this at all. The Windsor I grew up in was a very, very clean city. But things have been destroyed. And it's up to people like me to fight to make it better. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Fight for the people. Fight for freedom. Fight for the truth. And fight for Nancy Grewal. Someone said, thank you very much for honoring her legacy. She was a strong woman. Yes, 100%. You are right, Jonathan. Nancy Grewal was a very strong woman. You got a point with that comment. And I will do everything I can to honor her legacy. And you know what? The fact that nobody says nothing shows how evil and how corrupt people really are. Take money instead of honoring a poor woman. I would have loved to meet her. I would have loved to meet her. You know, if Nancy Grewal was still here with us, I guarantee y'all, she would have joined my campaign with running for mayor. And she would have got up there and done all her speeches. And if I could have met her, you know, I would have told her, I would have said, Nancy Grewal, not only do I respect you and love you for what you do and who you are, but I'm proud that she's a strong woman and she's not afraid to get up and speak. I don't think anything's going to happen, to be honest. I think I'm going to stay quiet this whole situation. Yeah, it does say something. It does. It says how bad the corruption is and how nothing is being done to solve it. Well, why? Yeah, exactly. Why hasn't nothing been done yet? There's security cameras all over the place. They could easily see who killed her. People have cameras in front of their garages. You could easily see who it was. I haven't even seen any video released to the public yet of what happened to Nancy Grewal. Not one video, right? Think about that. Not one video, not one, has been released to the public of the Nancy Grewal situation. Why? Because it shows who did it on the camera. And when it shows who did it, you know what? If the police don't get him, people will. The citizens, the patriots will. Oh, they'll get this motherfucker. Believe that. And like I said before, I'll say it again. Rest in peace to Nancy Grewal. May God bless your soul in heaven. May you shine and let your light spread. And you know what? Your line will come here more. Because the time I'm going to do for her is going to show what Windsor has in the future. Someone asked me my opinion on Detroit's mayor. Mary Sheffield. You know, Mary Sheffield is a very good mayor. And the reason why I'll say this is because of the fact she's trying to get Detroit back together. She's trying to get the community back together and respecting each other and hosting events in the core area. I appreciate that because that's what a mayor should do. Unlike Drew Dokins, the guy can't do anything, I swear to God. The bald-headed bandit cannot do one thing. Drew did 100%. But again, the fact that Drew Dokins has not said a word about Nancy Grewal should speak volumes. The guy is not a leader. I am someone who's going to be a leader. Because I'm not afraid to answer certain questions. I'm not afraid to talk about certain subjects. I don't hide the truth. I speak it. I don't sugarcoat nothing. I give it to you what it is. Why live stream my marriage? Why would I live stream my marriage? You know what? Maybe I'll record a vlog at my wedding or something. I don't know about streaming it. Like, that's a big maybe. Yeah, usually when assassinations happen, they don't give too much details on it. The matter of fact is, right, it's not like it's just a bullet to the back of the head. This poor woman was stabbed to death. I'm talking about someone used a knife and stabbed her repeatedly. Very tragic way to go. But the fact that Drew Dawkins is hush hush about it gives me every reason to call him out. Glad I got your vote. Thank you very much. So far on the stream, I got almost 90 comments. 87 to be exact. That's according to YouTube analysts. It says I've had 200 people join. Doesn't get the numbers I get on TikTok, but it's still something, right? My TikTok blows up a lot for what I speak on. I'm talking almost 100,000 views on each post I do. My Nancy Grewal post got 30,000 views. It's pinned right at the top of my profile on TikTok. You can see it right there. That was right after I found out what happened. That video I posted was saying rest in peace and give my condolences. Right exactly after I heard what happened, I did that. I didn't wait a week. I didn't wait a month and be like, oh, now I'm going to say. Didn't do any of that. Right as it happened, I said something. Because I knew something was fishy with the whole situation. Things didn't add up. That could be it. The point I want to make is no matter who you are in the world, if something happens to you, know it's for a reason. I've had plenty of people threaten to assassinate me. Plenty of people, but you know what? I don't stop because of that. Again, that one surprised me. Thank you very much for the support. I've seen a lot of support in the comments. Someone said Mayor Morency is the best future for Windsor. Mayor Morency is going to do stuff that nobody's ever expected. Nobody's ever expected to see a better future for Windsor, safer society for families, and a better overall growth in economy with new things coming to Windsor. Like I was saying with Coca-Cola, the Coke company. They want to come to Windsor. They want to invest and build. That'll be a huge success in Windsor. Massive success. Got a point with that. Like, if something ever did happen to me, just know it wasn't me. I know that sounds a little bit like, oh man, I'm saying, you know, I could die. Look, a lot of things are going on in the world right now, especially here in Canada. And Canada is not necessarily the country where they like you speaking on certain stuff. That's the problem with Canada. You know what happened to the Air Canada CEO? The guy had to resign. The Air Canada CEO had to resign because Mark Carney got offended. Isn't that kind of strange? I remember so many leaders over in America had songs dissing them, and I never once heard an American leader say, well, looks like you got to resign from your company. Did you ever hear that? I never did. Yeah, it's called they have freedom of speech there, which something we do not have. That's why I said Canada and America need to work together. And that Second Amendment keeps families safe. We need gun rights. With home invasions on the rise, carjackings on a regular, robberies happening wherever you go with jewelry stores. I think it's time for Canadians to have a Second Amendment right and to feel safe. And the only way we're going to have that is by working with America. If we work with America, we'll get the same benefits they do. We'll have the same rights they have. And we'll have the exact same freedom they have. And that's exactly what we need. Because if we don't have that, we're going to continue seeing problems that go on, and nothing is done to solve it. CBC, yeah, exactly. CBC, 100% CBC is lie. That's all they do is lie to the people. Been saying that for years. They're the enemy of the people. They always twist the narrative on everything. That's why I said don't ever trust them. There's some corrupt sons of bitches. CBC should be called Communist Broadcast Corporation. That's what CBC stands for. Because that's all it is communism. Propaganda. It's just there to make you hate. They don't speak truth and other stuff. They twist the narrative on every single thing they post. And they push an agenda on it. Oh, well, you gotta hate this. Oh, well, you gotta hate that. Isn't that kind of strange? Because growing up, when I remember Canada and America were the best of friends. Why do you think Don Cherry has so much respect for America, even though he's a patriotic Canadian? Because real Canadians love America. Real Americans love Canada. It's like a big brother and little brother. Big sister, little sister. That's what Canada and America are to each other. And the liberal media and the liberal government, their propaganda, is what destroyed everything. But the real people, we see right through it. Don't fall for the media. All they do is lie and twist the truth. Because they're corrupt. They're paid to say it. Just like Drew Dilkins is being paid not to say anything about Nancy Grewal. That's what Drew Dilkins is doing right now, as we speak. He's being quiet. Yeah, 100%. See, even other people recognize Drew Dilkins the biggest fraud in Windsor history. I wouldn't even say Windsor history. I would say Drew Dilkins is just as bad as Olivia Chow. Y'all know Olivia Chow, that mayor over in Toronto? That bitch is insane. Alright, that bitch is crazy. And that is the worst mayor. I don't even know how this woman even got elected. Right? Olivia Chow. Look at Detroit's mayor. Okay, Mary Sheffield. Look at Toronto's mayor, Olivia Chow, and just compare the difference. Olivia Chow is a fucking joke. God, I feel so bad for Toronto. I really do. I feel so bad for them. You know, the way of living over there. You know, I think the saddest thing about living in Toronto is the reality you gotta face that you can't afford nothing. I think that's what really sucks for Torontonians, is the fact that they have to pay so much for everything and get so nothing, right? Oh, for instance, Toronto has like one of the worst economies in the world. Which years ago it was very good. The reason why our economy in Toronto was trash is because the city doesn't know how to grow. That's the main problem that Canada is facing, is the fact that we can't grow our economy. We can't grow as a country because we don't have the right people in power. Also, the people in power don't care about the citizens. They don't care about the innocent people. They don't. If they cared, Nancy Grewal would be honored as we speak. But then again, nothing has been done. Someone said here, Tristan, do whatever you can to honor her. She'll respect you when she meets you in heaven. Well, thank you very much. What's your name there? Messiah, or the fuck your name is. Thank you very much. Give you a salute for that. I appreciate it. I would have loved to meet her. But you know what? Heaven's not always another destination. It's the promised land. Well, it's certain families that run the country, right? It's like the Rockefeller. It's like the Rothschild. There's that happens in Canada. The only problem is the media will never tell you any of this stuff. You gotta find on your own. Do you think the news media that's so corrupt and biased, you think they're gonna tell you what's going on? They're gonna tell you a narrative, and you're gonna believe it or not gonna believe it. That's up to your discretion. But just keep in mind, they've been doing this. They'll keep doing this. People call them out, and now a lot of people are doing. I'm not the only one calling news media. I remember years upon years ago, though, when I was a teenager, I was the only one that was really calling the news media out. And guess what? I've gotten myself banned. I've gotten myself banned and banned and banned and banned. But you know what? I'm still here speaking, ain't I? Like I said, if they can't control you, they silence you. They tried burning Nancy Grewal's house. She kept reporting to the police that she was being targeted, she was being threatened, she was being harassed, and she was being stalked. The police didn't do one thing about it. Very, very strange coincidence. And I just don't get why nothing is being done. Still, almost a month later. Almost a month later. That's what's the shocking thing to most, is that it's almost a month now, and still nothing has been done. No one has been arrested. No politician honored her legacy except for Pierre Poilievre. I'll give Pierre Poilievre credit. He was the only one that said something about her. Nobody else in Canada said a word about her. Which, again, really should tell people what's going on here. Yeah, 100%. Jonathan's got a point. She was murdered in cold blood. Yeah, Chris even said the police knew about the entire situation, and so did a lot of powerful people in Canada. And the matter of fact that Drew Dilkins has said nothing just goes to show what type of person he really is. Yeah, someone commented saying, yeah, the debate between me and Drew Dilkins in October is going to be Donald Trump versus Joe Biden 2.0. Drew Dilkins going to get owned so bad. But then again, this is an issue that I'm going to call out right to his face. And the fact that he said nothing should really say something. Yes, I've been fighting a lot for her. Someone has commented saying, I saw your video on TikTok, the video with 20,000 views and like 1,000 likes and 100 something comments. That video, yeah, that blew up my TikTok. The one that said rest in peace to her. Gave my condolences. That was literally right after I saw what happened. Yeah, again. Well, you know what? Something needs to be done. And nothing's going to be done. I think that should tell people the problem with this. You should never be silenced for speaking out. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Just look what happened to Charlie Kirk. Just look what happened to Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace, Charles James Kirk, a real one, who pushed faith, who pushed the good side of the world, was taken out because they couldn't control him. Because of how the left is. The left is so violent. And when this kind of stuff happens, people don't forget. Right? People don't forget this kind of stuff. People will not forget Nancy Grewal. She'll be honored throughout every historic book written about Windsor, to every historic page of news written in Windsor, to every single thing and spot you can think of. I'm going to honor this woman. A statue, a day for her, her own street name. Nancy Grewal will have stuff in Windsor. And I promise to make sure this woman's legacy continues on. That's how bad I feel about the situation, yes. I feel extremely horrible about the situation. That's why I'm doing this, to honor her. Because regardless of who it is, nobody should be silenced for speaking out. But the fact this poor woman was stabbed to death and nothing's been done so far since it's happened really just paints the picture of what's going on. She was killed for speaking out, and nobody wants to say nothing, and everybody wants to hide on the subject matter. Because Drew Dawkins is nothing more than a two-faced coward. Nothing more than a bald-headed bandit fraud. I'll say it right here, and I'll say it right now. Drew Dawkins, you're a fake ass. You're a fake ass, Drew Dawkins. You said nothing about this poor woman being killed, being assassinated. You said nothing because you ain't a real man. You don't got a set of balls on you. You got nothing but a camel toe. That's what you got, Drew Dawkins. Camel toes swim between your legs. You don't got a set because you're not man enough to say what's going on. You don't even talk about anything. Drew Dawkins is 100% the worst mayor in Windsor history. 100%. And it really bothers me to see that this guy has absolutely done nothing and just failed miserably. But the fact of the matter is, what's happening right now at Windsor should speak volumes to the rest of Canada. Canada is facing problems as it is, but Windsor, which is a city that used to be very, very clean and very safe a long time ago, is not what it used to be. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope something happens, because if something does happen, guess what? You're not going to hear nothing. I think that's the main problem, right? If something does happen, you're not going to hear nothing about it because Drew Dawkins doesn't want to know to the public. It's that simple. Drew Dawkins knows he fucked up. But is he going to admit it? No, he's not. What he'll do is he'll hide in his office and be all, well, another day, another paycheck, time to make my money, go on the beach. And that's what Drew Dawkins does. The guy doesn't talk about one issue wrong with Windsor or the Rose City community. The guy doesn't even do anything to upgrade it or put more infrastructure or more success behind him at Windsor because he doesn't want to do any of that. That's why I don't get how Drew Dawkins is the mayor. This guy has no idea how to run a city. This guy has no idea how to take care of problems. This guy has no idea how to address the problems going on within the city. This guy has no idea to talk about what needs to be talked about. When you're a mayor, you're supposed to get up there and say certain things. You're supposed to talk about what's going on. Not sit there and not do anything. That's a failure. The $440,000 worth of drugs that I posted on my YouTube that got a lot of numbers, Drew Dawkins did not say anything about that. That was part of the cartel. Look it up. That was a cartel member that was found with almost $500,000 worth of drugs. $25,000 worth of fentanyl a couple months ago in a drug raid. The Windsor police did a drug raid on the house. $25,000 worth of fentanyl. Now we have $500,000 worth of cocaine. We have Nancy Grewal being stabbed in her freaking place, her own house, because this is becoming a problem with Windsor. Windsor is facing significant problems with drugs, crime, shootings, home invasions, robberies, people being assassinated, overdoses, and nothing is being done to solve it. Which is very strange. Very, very strange. Yeah, if I go on a news station, CBC News has tried to get me on their show plenty of times. The only problem is if I go on CBC News or CTV or Global or any one of those news stations, I'm unfiltered. There's no sugarcoating what I'm going to say. And if it's on a live broadcast, these networks are going to face a lot of backlash for what I'm talking about and how I'm talking about it. Because when I see a problem, I'm not afraid to call it out. And that's what a real one should do in this world. It's called don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to push the limits. Don't be afraid to let the people know what's going on. Once you become afraid to do that, then you are the problem. I got one of the most successful social medias in Windsor. I mean, that's really pushing it. I think my TikTok might be one of the most successful in Windsor, but YouTube and Instagram, who knows? Yeah, my TikTok is pretty massive, yes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad y'all enjoyed the stream. Appreciate the love, care, and support y'all have shown me. Thank you very much for everything. May God bless all your souls out there. To the 77 people watching. To the 195 comments. Thank you very much for everything. And just know October 26th, the Mayor of Windsor election, I will save the Rose City. I will make Windsor great again. I will honor Nancy Grewal's legacy. I will build her a 200-foot statue. I'll bring thousands of jobs with skyscrapers. I'll bring in new infrastructure. I'll bring in new success. I'll bring in more technology. I'll bring in more economy to Windsor. I'll make a much more major, much more bigger city for people to enjoy, for people to love, for people to remember. People always want to come back from other spots in the world saying, well, I remember that time I was in Windsor and it was a lot better than what it was. That's what people will be saying when I'm mayor. Because my name is Tristan Ty Morency, and I'm going to make Windsor great again.